Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be making a card, a thankful card to be used for Thanksgiving or any other occasion that you would like to send a thankful greeting for. I'm starting by using a scrap piece of watercolor paper and outlining the leaf. In this case I'm using a cookie cutter I have, an older cookie cutter I have, and I liked the outline of the leaf with this cookie cutter. You could hand draw the leaf or you could trace it from another image that you have. I'm using my Durant sketching brush here, going around and making sure I have the outline very nice on the image. We will be adding texture to the image using our molding paste and my craft knife. I am going to be dabbing the molding paste all around the center here. I want to create depth and texture with the molding paste, so I'm having peaks and valleys come up and dabbing it all around the edge of the piece. Don't want to cut the piece out at this point. I wanted to paint it and have the molding paste on the leaf prior to cutting it out, and then I didn't have to worry about staying within the lines. The dark wash Durant brush worked well here, so I could see the outline of the piece as I was placing the texture and the paint on it. You could use a marker or any other dark writing tool that you would like to, as long as you can see the outline enough to cut it out, because the paint does cover it. Here you can see all of the beautiful texture we've added to the leaf. I'm letting that dry thoroughly as I want to paint over it. And then we're going to apply any kind of acrylic paint that you have. I'm using red, orange, and a metallic bronze because you'll see the paper that I'm bringing in to finalize the card has bronze in it, so I wanted to highlight that in the focal point. And we'll go ahead and start applying acrylic inks. I'm going to use the orange on the bottom and do a wash of red on the top. I did play around quite a bit with this piece to get the depth of texture and color that I wanted. And you'll see I go back and forth, I add some brown into it, and I would just encourage you to keep playing with the piece so that you get the tone on tone that you want, that you get the shading that you want on the piece, no matter what piece what the shape is. Here you'll see I add red, and I start with my brush, and then I go to the best painting tool that I have, which is my fingers, and start rubbing the paint around to make sure that it's going into the nooks and the crannies of the molding paste as we have there. And I wipe some of it off and I go back and forth and add more on, and in the end I was really happy with the depth of the colors within the piece. Okay, I am going to add my go-to metallic luster around the edge of the leaf, which will help to pop out the colors and tie in the edges. I do go back after and continue to play a little bit with the colors on this and the veining on it to get it right. I like the metallic luster around the edges, and I brush some of that on the peaks of the ridges that we have throughout the piece as well. And then I take glossy accents and rub that around the leaf to give the leaf additional weight and texture. It makes it a little bendable. Then it really, I thought the glossy accents popped this piece out of the card, made it visually pop out when placed on the card. As you can see, I've toned down off camera the veins running throughout the card and really did play with it a little bit more. I do want to paint the background of the leaf. I started painting it with the copper and decided I needed the black and then to do copper. Wanted to paint the background because this piece is going to pop off the card, and at this point I was not sure how I was going to place the image on the card, so I wanted to have a nice finished product, which I think adds to it as well. So we'll go ahead and paint up the back of the piece, and then we will start assembling our card. We are going to put our card together. I have this beautiful piece of decorative paper. It just spoke fall to me. I cut them out in the dimensions shown, and I'm pairing that with a brown and a cream for the interior, so the giver of the card can write on the interior. So it's simply a matter of putting the card together. I use my tape runner to place the decorative piece on the brown cardstock. I'm leaving some room because I do want to put a simple sentiment on the bottom of the card, and I felt like it needed something at this point as well, so I pulled some orange, real glittery, sparkly ribbon out of my stash, and I'm going to place that around the entire card. I didn't want to place it on the decorative sheet of paper only, as I felt like it added too much bulk there, and it really did flow better with the card being wrapped around both the brown piece of paper and the decorative piece of paper. And we will go ahead and place our emboss, our thankful sentiment. I'm going to use copper embossing powder and place the sentiment in the middle of the card. However, the middle of the card is going to be from the edge, the right edge of the ribbon, to the edge of the card. So visually that becomes the middle of your card. I just use a piece of cotton to wipe off the bottom to make sure the embossing powder stuck to just the card itself, and I didn't have specks of embossing powder. And used my VersaFine ink to stamp Thankful in, and we will go ahead and place the copper embossing powder. This is Inkadinkado, very fine, nice copper embossing powder. It seemed to match well with the copper elements that we have on the card. I hope you've enjoyed this card. I have enjoyed making it. Please leave comments below, subscribe, like the video if you would like to see more videos such as this, and have a beautiful day. Thanks everyone.